Hi everybody, it's Steve Halley here with the Family Peace Initiative, and welcome to the August edition of the Facilitator's Tool Chest blog. Uh, every month I try to put out something that will hopefully stimulate some thought, stimulate some conversation, maybe stimulate some controversy, and so that people will start thinking about these things. So how can we all work together to get better? I think it's incumbent on us to strive to master our craft. And the further I get into this profession, the more I realize I have such a long way to go to achieve mastery. I'm not sure that I'll ever get to mastery, but I am going to get to better. I can look back on my career over the last 25, 30 years, and I can see I've really improved from where I started. And I hope that in the next 25 or 30 years, I can look back at today and go, oh, I've really improved over where I was then. But there's a couple of places that I think facilitators could benefit by becoming aware of. And I've talked a lot in these blogs over the years about the need for facilitators to be self-aware, to be noticing what's happening to me while I'm in the group with these people, whether I'm on a video screen or whether I'm in person. And when I get emotionally activated, I'm at risk of making serious mistakes, and I'm certainly not present in the room for participants. I get emotionally activated, and then I move to being protective of myself. And so there's certain behaviors that we get into when we become dysregulated. Bruce Perry, Oprah Winfrey, in their book, What Happened to You, they talk about that dysregulated people cannot regulate dysregulated people. And we know that those who batter are coming to our classes dysregulated for the most part. That's a normal way of living for people who come to our classes. So the facilitator has to be regulated in order to help regulate the people in the room. It's a remarkable concept. If I want people to be regulated and centered in the room, I have to be centered. So there's some evidence of things that when I start doing certain things, it's evidence that I'm not centered, that I'm not regulated, that I'm moving toward emotional activation, which is putting me at risk of not being present, but being protective in the room. And there's 3 or 4 that I want to mention real quickly and just have you mull it over, and then we'll talk more about them down the road. But many times when I get to a point where I feel like that I don't know what to do, I move to giving advice. I move to suggesting, you might try this. Well, I know people who have handled that situation this way, and trying to kind of fix the problem for them. I move to fix problems with people when I feel like I'm inept at helping them solve it for themselves. So I give advice. Another thing that's not uncommon for me to do is to kind of silver lining the thing. Well, it's not all that bad. It could have been worse. At least this happened. Well, there was some good things that came out of that. And, I'm trying to put a positive spin on something, trying to help me manage my own feelings of, oh, this was bad, but can I find something positive? Can I help them find something positive? Can I help them not feel something that I don't want them to feel? So giving advice, silver lining stuff. And then there's the logical argument that I see oftentimes people getting into. I certainly am guilty of that myself, where someone will say something that I disagree with, and I will begin this discussion about making my points, how they're wrong and I'm right, because I get anxious about they said something that I don't agree with, and how do I push back against that? Instead of pursuing and inquiring more about where their belief came from and why they said what they said, I become protective. and that's emotional activation. I'm not in my ventral vagal system if you're into polyvagal theory. And so those three things are ways that we can, if we're aware of ourselves and listen to the words coming out of our mouth, it's indication of being emotionally activated. And when we're emotionally activated, we're not thinking in a real clear space. Our prefrontal cortex is not actively online as much as it could be. And so we're making decisions out of our own emotional activation instead of being present in the room. And part of managing that is being aware of what's happening to me while I'm facilitating in the room. And when I can feel myself becoming emotionally activated, which by the way is normal. There's nothing weird about it, and it doesn't say anything negative about a human being having an emotional experience. It's just that I'm having an emotional response to something. And when I do, I need to know how my body reacts and what dangers that represents while that is going on in my body. And so I look for the cues. Am I giving people advice? Am I silver lining the thing? Am I getting into some kind of a logical argument or discussion trying to prove my point right and their point wrong, instead of just inquiring, and instead of just sitting with people, and instead of letting people manage their own life experience and me be able to sit there and inquire and help them learn more about themselves while they're going through something challenging. And so I would tell you that facilitators at the Family Peace Initiative, that what really helps them move to the next level is their ability to be aware of what's happening to themselves so that they can better regulate themselves. And as facilitators can stay more regulated, they help the participants be more regulated. And then what happens when safety is in the room is incredible discussions start happening. Incredible conversations start occurring because people are safe. When people don't have to protect and can just share of themselves without risk, amazing things happen. So pay attention to yourself. How do you respond when you get dysregulated, and what kind of things happen in the room that help activate your feelings? And the more you become self-aware, the more powerful of a facilitator you'll be. So good luck to you. Keep working on it. Keep pursuing mastery. And I'll look forward to seeing you in September with another edition of the Facilitator's Tool Chest. Thanks so much, you guys.